So yeah, we have our published poems. We also have poems that we're like, oh, this poem's never going to be. But what are you doing with it? So it's just sitting on your computer right now? Take all those poems and make a soundtrack. Make an album. Just record your voice saying the poems that you know aren't going to be published anywhere, or you don't intend on getting published anywhere. The very next thing we're going to talk about is kind of like what we're actually doing right here. Video podcast. Not an audio podcast, video podcast. Now, there will be an audio version of this when I get around to it one day. But why are we choosing video? We're choosing video for a couple of reasons.
Bless.
Video. First of all, video podcast. A video podcast, how long is a podcast usually? When you think podcast, you're probably thinking 20, 30 minutes and not longer, right?
I'm like a news head. My podcast be long as that's me.
Yeah. But that's so that's the thing, but not everyone's going to like that, right? So this is the beauty of the video podcast, because the video podcast, honestly, the video podcast, this video, what we're making right now, is probably going to have the smallest number of views. And I don't care. It's not about views. Stop worrying about vanity metrics. It's not about views, okay? Because what can I do with this? That's where things get super, super interesting. Suddenly, an hour-long podcast can become 10, 20, 3-4 minute videos.
Micro content.
You know, suddenly that same podcast can become 100 shorts, 100 TikToks, 100 reels. Suddenly that video podcast can become an audio podcast, because I can just strip the video and just take the audio. Suddenly that video podcast can become a blog, because, in fact, not just one blog, I can make it 20, 30 blog posts, because I can put it on YouTube. YouTube will make automatic transcription. I will then check the transcription to make sure everything's looking good. I then take that audio and put it into my blog or my newsletter. One piece of content is suddenly, that's giving me enough content for a month if I wanted to.
And it's sustainable.
Also, it gets monetized. One thing you want to be considering for YouTube is if you reach 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, which, by the way, 4,000 hours of watch time is much easier to reach when you have long-form content. Good luck trying to get 4,000 hours on like a 30-second video. Have fun with that. But one of the other things, too, is like YouTube is that for the monetization is that if you have a piece of content that's over 8 minutes, then you can start doing what are called mid-roll ads. The mid-roll ads are those times when like you're watching a video and then in the middle of the video, you get interrupted by the advertisement, which means even if I just place one mid-roll ad in a video, I have just doubled my income. The other thing that's nice about YouTube is, I'll put it this way. Instagram, if I wanted to, just on my home screen on Instagram, or even on Twitter, if I wanted to find a tweet from 10 years ago, if I want to find an Instagram post from some guy, I forget his name, from 10 years ago.
I got to hire an intern, bro.
YouTube, you search for something. How often do you see stuff from 5 years ago, 10 years ago?